Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Missy from the Shadows of the Moon, and I'm here today to talk about cryptology, or cryptozoology, cryptids, cryptoids, whatever you want to call them. So, the reason that this is late, again, is because of the fact that I was doing more research on the subject, because I want to bring you guys, the best info I can. And then I got thinking, the thought that made it all go downhill was basically, what about banshees? Is that a cryptid? And that made me search all of UK and what they thought and everything like that. So it led me down a rabbit hole. So therefore, this is why this is late today. So, let's have some coffee. I have coffee and my pop, soda, whatever you want to call it, because I'm needed for today. Yeah, so my apologies for this being late again. But yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. Went down the rabbit hole. So, anyway, let's get going, shall we? So, for those who don't know, what is a cryptid, right? Now, we know about Bigfoot, we know about Loch Ness Monster, we know about Mothman, Jersey Devil, Chupacabra, and a ton more that are out there, right? But what defies a cryptoid? So, let's get into it. Cryptids and cryptoids. What is a cryptid? This is from Wikipedia. Cryptozoologists may consider any figure from folklore to be cryptid, from the Greek word crypto, meaning hide. After the term cryptozoology and meaning a hidden animal, the Oxford English Dictionary defines the noun cryptoid as an animal whose existence or survival to the present day is disputed or unsubstantiated, you know that word. Any animal of interest to cryptozoologists. Some dictionaries and encyclopedias define the term cryptoid as an animal whose existence is questionable. And that's basically what it is. We're not sure if they're alive or whatnot. There's been sightings. Here's some pictures. There's Bigfoot and Mothman. And I'm thinking that might be the Jersey Devil or a werewolf. Let us read on. Whoa. All right. Cryptozoologist George Eberhardt classifies 10 types of mystery animals under the cryptozoology umbrella. So we have the known animals reported outside their normal ranges. The anomalies of big cats in the UK. That's a big one. That's what I kept finding when I was searching UK cryptoids. Undescribed, unusual, or outside variations of known species like the giant anacondas reported from Amazonia or the spotted lions of East Africa. Survivals of recently extinct species where we think they're extinct, but they're really not. The ivory-billed woodpecker, presumed to be extinct in 1960. The Tasmanian tiger, the thylacine, declared extinct in 1936, or the Steller sea cow, presumed extinct in 1768, all of which are occasionally claimed to have survived to the present. Survivals of species known only from their fossils, like the living dinosaurs and stuff like that. The Macaulay Macamba of Central Africa, And then we have species from known from the fossils record much later in historical times. So they thought they lived, you know, the woolly mammoths presumed extinct 12,000 BCE, but occasionally reported to have survived into the later eras. Animals not known from their fossil records, but reported or related to known species, like the Indian wolf or the striped manta ray, reported by Mr. Beebe in 1930. And then we have animals not known from the fossil records nor related to any known species, like North American Bigfoot or most sea serpents. Mythical animals with a zoology basis, the griffin, partly inspired by the dinosaur fossil of Central Asia. Seemingly paranormal or supernatural entities with some animal-like characteristics, the Mothman, black dogs, or some fairies from folklore. And that's where I came across, because I'm like, if fairies are, if they're umbrellaed in under cryptozoology and everything, that's what I'm talking about when I came across like the banshee or, you know, other species that it was like, is that a cryptoid or is that a spirit? So I'll get to my conclusion when I get to the end here. Additionally, Earhart argues for 6 exclusions from classification as a cryptoid. Insignificance. Cryptoids must be big, weird, dangerous, or significant to humans in some way. Lack of controversy. Someone needs to observe a mystery animal, and someone else needs to discredit it. So we have to have the fight. Cryptozoologists function as interventionists between witness and skeptical scientists. Erotics, the out-of-place alligator that turns up in an odd spot, undoubtedly through human agency. Yeah, I mean, if there's an alligator spotted in Africa, I'm sure somebody brought him there. But if a new species of alligator that lives only in sewers, that's a different matter. Yes, our New York City sewers are supposedly full of them. I don't know. Bizarre humans, zombies or vampires, angels or demons. The paranormal, supernatural is admitted only if it has an animal shape. Kind of like the werewolf sighting, which might involve a real dog or wolf or a mystery canid. Aliens, unless such extraterrestrials arrived a long time ago, thus classified as residents. So, that's basically the analogies of cryptozoology. There's a lot to go there, you know? There's a lot going on that. I got so wrapped up in trying to find what certain things were. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. And the UK one, see, that's where I get confused, is like the legend and lore is so thick there that I don't know like how to, I guess, put them in categories of legend and lore and all that sorts. I don't know. Let's see here. What else we got? So I'll read you this. So this is another maybe, if it wants to play here. Contrary to... Oh, hold on one second. There we go. Contrary to popular belief, cryptids don't have to be supernatural, mythical, or even strange. Though many proper creatures acquire these characteristics as their legend grows in truth. The field of cryptozoology covers everything from scientifically plausible but poorly documented animals to demon-like monsters seen only in the dark forest and shaky video footage. The term cryptid came to applied to any of the following categories of unknown beasts: creatures from myth and legend, supposedly supernatural and paranormal entities, extinct creatures said to be inhabited specific areas, known animals in areas they are not known to inhabited, known animals of unusual size or appearance, animals that don't resemble any known species, known hoaxes, whether taxidermy, like the jackalope, Photoshop, false accounts, and or otherwise. One well-known cryptozoologist named George Eberhardt has separated those further into 10 distinct categories, which we just read, with only slight variations on categories listed above. He also added a few excursions, like we read, that those that shouldn't be considered cryptids are included aliens, angels, and demons, so-called bizarre humans such as zombies, and generally insignificant, big, weird, dangerous, and controversial in the science sense. Now here's a little picture of a mermaid. Whoops. There was a little picture of a mermaid. This is the Fiji mermaid. They actually, I tried to find they had a whole thing on, these were found in a museum. I don't know if this one was, being the Fiji mermaid, but I know they had, ones in a museum. And I tried to find the article again, and I couldn't find it for nothing. So a creature is cryptid when there is some evidence for its existence, whether it's a photograph, whether it's photographic evidence, footprints, remains, or even an eyewitness account. When evidence of the creature's existence is found, it ceases to be and moves on to the realm of science. While rare, this has happened a few times. Think the platypus, and I will actually show you some of the top 10 that were cryptid or classified as cryptid, but it turned out to be real animals. So the platypus, the okapi, which is the African unicorn, both strange animals that were once considered to be hoaxes by Western scientists. Even the famous Komodo dragon was once thought to be a myth. And it's crazy. I mean, I understand that some of this, I think some of these are misidentified cryptoids, but not all of them. So the number one, obviously, is the Bigfoot. And here's that footage I'm sure everybody has seen. If not, I will play it now. Hopefully it'll play. Or maybe it won't. It'll just pop me back. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if it's going to have sound. This is the original footage. Alright, hold on one sec. That's the famous Bigfoot. What do you guys think? I know at one point one of them came out to say that it was fake, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fame and you know, everything that went for it. He totally sat there and was like, never mind, I just want this to be over. That type of thing. So what do you guys think? Is that a Bigfoot? Now this has been analyzed over and over again. It's not like it's something, you know. This film has been analyzed. I've seen it be analyzed by screen person, you know, people that are used to seeing if films are hoaxes. He cleared it up a little bit, and I mean, he says it's real. That, you know, it's not doctored or anything like that. And he also, back then, the costumes that they had, like gorilla costumes, were nothing like that. There was nobody that could make a costume to be like that. Not with the muscles and everything that you see on that Bigfoot. So anyway, that's what it was. Oh, that's supposed to be a Yeti. I haven't seen this one. I haven't looked at these yet. So let's see what's going on with this. Let me blow it up. Maybe, if I can. I don't think. Oh, there we go. No, it's not going to let me blow it up. Sorry, guys.
Terrified skiers are watching their backs after a Yeti-type monster was
now that looks to me like,
apparently caught on camera roaming the slopes in Spain. A photo
that to me looks like a guy in a
and
snowsuit.
video footage emerged showing the hulking
Again, I
beast
wasn't
with
there.
shaggy white fur walking
I've
upright
never.
onto
It's very
legs
rare
as
to
it
see
darts
Yetis.
between trees. The mysterious creature,
I've seen
resembling the
Bigfoot in
elusive
snow.
abominable snowman of the Himalayas, is said
But
to have
that
been
looks like, I don't know.
Formigal in the Pyrenees Mountains of northeast Spain. A skier sparked the alarm after posting the image on a popular web forum with the caption, "Strange animal spotted in Formigal. What the hell is this?" He added, "This morning skiing in Formigal with friends we've come across this. What the hell is it? A bear or a bloody Yeti? We've told
Okay,
the
stop.
ski resort, but they haven't taken us seriously. I bet there's something on the loose out there."
There we go. So, well, first of all, I don't like videos that, you know, are voiced over by computers. But yeah, it's very rare. I've never seen a clear photograph until now, apparently, of a Yeti. I have seen this, not personally, but on TV. The head, the Yeti scalp. I think on Destination Truth or Destination Unknown, one of the two. But where they said it was bare. They were allowed to take a sample of hair. I don't know if it was that one or another one, but yeah. I don't know. That right there is the Jersey Devil. I don't remember the Jersey Devil looking like that. When I remember the Jersey Devil, it was more like a werewolf. But hey, I've never lived in Jersey and I don't know. But apparently this is what the Jersey Devil looks like. And he's one of the many cryptids that we've heard about over the years. Yeah, when I heard about the Jersey Devil, I thought it was a werewolf, but I guess not. But it said it had bat-like wings, a horse's head, long claws, and draconic appearance. While others describe it as a kangaroo with wings. One one of which was at point set up as a hoax. It was said to have attacked trolley cars and social clubs, with the police firing on the supposed monster with little or no effect. Footprints have been seen in the snow, but with the bulk of this cryptid's activity occurring in the early 20th century, there was very little photographic or physical evidence for its existence. Now, I will say with the Jersey Devil, I've only heard it attack in the woods. I've never heard it attack in trolley cars or social club, and that maybe was the hoax that they were talking about, but I'm not sure. I've only heard it being somebody getting attacked out in the woods. So I don't know. I'd have to look more into that. So let me go and get out of here. Now here is a list of cryptoids, and there's a lot of them. As you can see, there is a lot of cryptoids. These ones I think are from, oh no, they're from all over. Okay, so we got the Alamaha of Georgia in the United States. They think it's like a sturgeon or a plesiosaurus, like river animal. Bear Lake Monster, which is in Idaho or Utah. It's a lake monster. These are all lake monsters. Bessie, I heard about Bessie because I grew up near Lake Erie, in Pennsylvania. They got a Bronzo dragon in Russia, which is a lake monster. These are all aquatic ones right here. Champ, I've heard of. Champy is in Lake Champlain. What else we got here? I've never heard of Chessie. That one's apparently in Chesapeake Bay. Giant anaconda in South America. Kraken. Loch Ness Monster, Nessie, in Loch Ness in Scotland. The Mambalambo in South Africa. I've heard of that one. The Manipago. I've heard of that one in Canada. Or is it Ogopago? Is the one I've heard of in Canada. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Tahoe Tessie. That's in Lake Tahoe. Trinity Alps Giant Salamander. That's in California. And then you have the trustier ones like the Chupacabra. Chupacabra, of course, is in Puerto Rico. It's like a dog. I think it looks like a mange dog. Bigfoot, Sasquatch. That's in the United States and Canada. But they do have them in China. In Asia. Over there. I don't know if they have them in UK. I haven't seen anything. But yeah, and then you got the winged ones, which is Jersey Devil, Mothman, Thunderbird, North America. The Thunderbird, I always think of the Phoenix when I hear Thunderbird. But the Thunderbird is mainly like a pterodactyl. they might be seeing herons, man. Those things are huge. I saw one for the first time 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. Anyway, the first time I ever saw one, I'm like, I said, what the hell is that? Is that a pterodactyl? Because I had never seen one before. And it scared me. Now, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think cryptids are? Like, I have different theories. I have totally different theories. Like, I think a lot of them are elemental spirits, protectors of the earth. Just because, like, in the UK, and I'll show you, they have the mermaid on there. And to me, the mermaid is an elemental. They have fairies on there, which are elementals. Bigfoot, I feel, is an elemental that travels, like, I don't know if he's, like, in different dimensions or what, but because I've only heard of him attacking very rarely. And I honestly don't think that's his nature. I think he's protecting, if that makes sense. I mean, I can very well understand the scariness of the attack, or the scariness of seeing a Bigfoot, or, you know, your adrenaline. I would be freaked out. I don't care who I am. I would be freaked out if I ran into something like that. Just saying. But I feel he's not one to attack unless provoked, or you're destroying something that you shouldn't be destroying. But yeah, the UK has mermaid ones. And again, that's what, here it is right here. Let me zoom this in or put it on your screen. So these are the top 10 cryptids of the UK. They have the red-eyed owl man. On April 17th, 1976, a holidaymaker, Don Melling, claimed his two daughters, June, age 12, and Vicky, age 9, were strolling through the woods near the top of the southwest coast pass near St. Manon's graveyard when they witnessed a large winged monster hovering above the church tower. Now, could this have been the Mothman? I mean, that don't look like the Mothman, but could it been? Red-eyed owl man? I mean, it could very well be. People are saying it was just a very large eagle owl, but several witnesses disagree. And that's usually what happens with cryptoids. I'm wondering if anything, I'd have to look into this, because see, this is where I go. This is what happens in my head. If this was the Mothman, I wonder if anything happened bad-wise to that town. Just because that's what I believe with the Mothman, as I think Bigfoot is an elemental, that a protector of the forest. I think the Mothman is he's warning of bad things that are going to happen, just because of the fact that with the whole thing in Virginia, West Virginia there, I think he was trying to warn people about the bridge, because he showed up there days before. People have seen him in China after, or before the earthquake, or, yeah, it was the big earthquake and tsunami. People have seen him there. Some people say he was around 9/11. But I don't think he's the one causing it, like they think in West Virginia, that he caused the bridge to collapse. I think, for those who don't know the story, in West Virginia, there's a whole big thing. There's a Mothman museum and everything, to where people have seen him. And Christmas Day, I think 1949, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, they seen him on top of this bridge, and the bridge collapsed. It was around Christmas, I know that. And yeah, there was a lot of people killed, and it was a sad event. And they think the Mothman did it, where I think he was there to warn them. I'm gonna definitely look into this red-eyed owl man to see if there are sightings, if anything bad happened after that. And then they have the ape man of Tunbridge Wells. These are the UK ones. These are the ones that are in the UK. The ape man was first seen 7 years ago during World War II and appeared near to the mysterious outcrop known as Wellington Rocks on Tunbridge Wells Common. It was first witnessed in 1942 by an old married couple who fled in fear as it approached them. It reappeared in 2012, so this is kind of recent, in the same spot, and threatened passerby who reported the event. It has since been seen by several different people in various locations in the surrounding woods and countryside. It's 8 foot tall, with demonic red eyes, long simian arms, and thick brown fur. So is that like a Bigfoot? But they said ape man. Well, yeah, that'd be a Bigfoot. The beast is said to have tusks like a boar. That's not Bigfoot. And an odor to match. One particularly sighting of the mara occurred in 1991 when it was encountered soldiers of the Territory Army who threw a rock at it after it roared at them. The encounter lasted for several minutes. During the time, the soldiers said they have a clear view of the beast and believed it to be a living creature, not a person dressed up as an ape. As in most cases, most believe the ape man is the work of pranksters. Then you have the Morgarer, and I know I've heard of this, but I can't say it. Morgarer? Sea serpent of Falmouth. In the story of the Morgarer, sea giant, dates back to 1876 when a sea serpent was allegedly discovered by fishermen in Gerrans Bay, approximately 500 yards east of Port Cathol. Yeah. It was seen again on the 3rd of August 1906. That's kind of like Nessie. I mean, these, they got to have somewhere to go. Direwolves. Okay, so it was, to be honest, it was a touch and go whether this cryptoid entry should have been included because of the reports of the explanation in both obvious and painful coincidence. Even the cryptids experts think it may be a autosuggestion. Aha! So, around 5 years ago, the good people of the country of Fernanog in the County Antrim, North Ireland, started talking about sightings of giant wolves, creatures believed to be extinct and once known as direwolves. In all the cases, the creature was seen in poor light in heavily wooded regions. However, it was also around the time that hugely successful TV series, Game of Thrones, which often featured direwolves, was being filmed in the same locations. I get it. Okay. On the upside, Game of Thrones is a wonderful atmospheric drama and popular among TV audiences worldwide. It's likely that long as it's been filmed in North Ireland, the spat of cryptid sightings will continue, of course. Most men would rather deny a hard truth than face it, George R.R. Martin said. Now, is this a fact that they started talking about the dire wolves and consciously, or well, subconsciously, they brought it back into effect? Meaning that we're creators of our own worlds. And so in talking about it, brought it back into our world? See, I don't know. What do you think? Here's where I started delving into banshees and everything reading this. The Blue Men of Minich. No list of cryptids would be complete without at least one reference to the mer people, mermaids and mermen. In Britain, these are known as the Blue Men of Minch. The Minch being a 27-mile wide stretch of water between mainland Scotland and the island of Lewis on the Outer Hebrides. Hebrides. I don't know what that word is. They have human torsos and arms with large fishtails instead of legs, although some references claim that the creatures appeared completely human. In all cases, the aquatic cryptids were blue from the top to the tail. Folklorists refer to the Metaminich as escaped Moorish slaves that learned to live underwater, or even fallen angels. According to local legend, they can be benign or malevolent and sometimes try and trip over small boats to drown the sailors. During World War II, sightings of these creatures increased around the island of Babel and prompted speculation that 10 German frogmen were operating in the area from the hidden U-boat. Skeptics believe the creatures to be mink whales and point out similarity of names Minkavel. Again, I think mermaids are a part of elementals. I think they could have been, if it was World War II, they could have been unhappy with the fighting. Which most, I think, elementals are unhappy with the fighting. Just my take on it. Were rabbits. Peak District. Huge, wide-set black eyes, long snout with a black nose, muscle legs with long feet. For the past 5 decades, there have been sightings of weird, furry cryptids that resemble small monsters in and around a strange series of rock formations known as the Roaches. Sightings that led to a local belief in were-rabbits. Most people believe the legend of the were-rabbit was fully explained when naturalists acknowledged that for many years the area was home to a breeding colony of redneck wallabies from Australia that had escaped. That kind of looks like a wallaby, don't it? I think so. So that could be definitely a part of... It says, situated in the heart of England's Peak District, the area is sparsely inhabited and top destination for hikers, many of whom have claimed to be walking peacefully along the gorse and heather when a bush will suddenly disgorge a strange-looking creature, which then runs madly away with a wild hopping motion. Over the times, these cryptids, which seem harmless, have been nicknamed were-rabbits. The creatures, which is said to have large teeth, a pronounced snout, and long rear legs, reminiscent of a velociraptor. It's usually 90 centimeters tall. Wow, I don't know. But I do like that wallaby theory. It definitely could be. And, if there was breeding going around, breeding can mess up some bloodlines. Werewolves. Now, werewolves are the type of cryptid that I'm just not sure of, because I always remember werewolves having to be the seventh son of the seventh son. And to me, that's something like biblical or something. I don't know. I have a weird brain. Um, Canoe chase in an area of woods and moorland in South Staffordshire that was once an ancient royal forest and now being a significant reputation for the strange and bizarre. The list is long, from wandering pigmen and UFOs to haunted World War II German cemeteries. The area has it all. Now that I just did a plug for them. It's also well known for beautiful paths, hidden clearings, and lovers' lanes. The very first reports date back to 1914. Side note, the year my dad was born, when the area was home to Brockton Camp military base. Residents came to believe that a strange creature roamed the woods. 1981 saw a list of animal attacks by nearby stately home of Sherborough Hall. From this time on, various witnesses, from teenage boys to drivers in cars, have claimed to see that what they can only describe as a werewolf. During 2006 and 2007, the encounter increased dramatically and prompted even international newspapers to cover the story. The creature is larger than a normal wolf, has an unpleasant smell, and runs on its hind legs. It is said to peer into windows of parked cars. The investigation continues. What do you guys think about werewolves? I mean, they're supposed to be, like I said, the seventh son of the seventh son. And there's a way to turn them back, but I forget what that is at the moment. The Big Grey of Ben McDoy. I don't know. Excuse me, if that's how you say it. But it's a Yeti-like cryptoid. Okay. Only it's white. I'm taking it. So it's 8 feet tall and covered in gray fur and rags. Some believe it's a relative to the Yeti of the Himalayas, while others have suggested that it's a descendant of the legendary wild man of Scotland. Hikers and climbers have regularly claim to see the gray man, and even more come across the tracks that look as if they were made by a giant barefooted man. So again, another Bigfoot. Bigfoot's a big one. Loch Ness Monster. Nessie. Again, I think Nessie is another elemental that protects the waters. But that's just my take. The Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie as it is affectionately known, is top of the list of the world's most famous cryptid, and it's certainly the most investigated. The monster is said to resemble a plesiosaurid, long-necked plesiosaur, from the late Cretaceous period. It has been sighted on so many occasions, it is remarkable that there are so few good photographs of the beastie. The first record sighting date back to the 6th century when it was confronted by St. Columba. Modern sightings date back to 1993 and have continued to this day. What do you guys think about Nessie? Do you think she's real? Where did I see that? I just saw something. Yeah, and this was really cool because I saw this documentary. Over the decades, there have been many missions to track down the Loch Ness Monster. Underwater cameras revealed glimpses of a flipper. Tourists photographed a head with an elongated neck, and strange tracks have occasionally been found crossing the road that runs much of the length of the Loch Ness. A comprehensive sonar scar in 2003 failed to reveal the animal, but Nessie's supporters quickly pointed out that there is a labyrinth of underwater caves easily large enough to provide a hiding place. Even today, the existence of the Loch Ness Monster is a hotly debated subject. The Beast of Bodmin Moor. hybrid of a giant hound and panther. I would not want to come across that thing. For centuries, of the people of Cornwall and Devon, in the west of England, have believed that there. And please forgive me, all my UK people. I am so sorry. I know I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Unless I've really heard them before, I have no clue how to pronounce them, and I'm so sorry. I do not mean any disrespect. Believe me. So they believe that their desolated moors hid the lair of one of the most savage beasts. Originally, tales describe a monster best described as a half hellhound and half panther. The legend is said to have inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle to write his famous Sherlock Holmes novel, The Hounds of Baskerville. And I read that book. I remember reading that book when I was little, and I was scared. The beast came into the general attention of the public during the 1990s when a series of animal attacks occurred in the region. Residents and holiday visitors started reporting that they had seen a large panther-like creature, which was quickly nicknamed the Beast of Bodmin Moor. Now that I'm saying it more, I remember this. Official investigations during 1995 found no evidence of significance and released a statement that there is no variable evidence or exotic feline cryptids loose in Britain. How did they know that? Seriously, how do they know that? I just don't understand how they can sit there and say, oh no, there's no cryptids running loose. Official investigators during we read that. That hasn't stopped people seeing the creature. The problem is separating the real evidence from the left of hoaxers. And that's the real problem with everything. Everything, people have to hoax and make, it drives me nuts. So there is your list of UK cryptids. At least some of them. At least some of them. As far as our cryptids, we have a bunch more. But again, like I said, when I started out, I was going to do our cryptids, North America cryptids. And then I went down to this rabbit hole, right? And now I'm just curious. I'm curious if I'm very curious. Because the Banshee led into like Incubus and Succubus, which are supposed to be demons. And I just kept going. Just kept going. I'm just waiting for this one thing to pull up. What's really cool, well, not really cool, but I think a lot of the cryptids that we see or hear about, other than Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, and are just misidentified. Because that happens. Think about if we ran into something new, how would we describe that to somebody? And I'm not thinking that, yeah, you're messed up. Because that happens. Happens all the time. So I found this article and I thought it was cool as hell about top 10 cryptids that turned out to be real. They thought these people were lying by the way they described it, the animal that they saw, and told they were loony. you know? So it could happen. It could very well happen. What do you guys think about cryptids? Do you think they're real? I lost my listing of like our cryptids, our chupacabra and our mothman. And it really sucks. Wait a minute, is that it? Because I really wanted to get more into our cryptids. No, I think these are more. Yeah, these are more UK cryptids. But yeah, leave a comment down below. What do you guys think? Is Bigfoot real? Is Chupacabra real? Chupacabra, I think that's more of a, to me, it looks like a mange dog or a mange wolf. I could be wrong, obviously. But the question about the Chupacabra is, that's why its name is Chupacabra, is because it is a goat sucker. Because when a Chupacabra, there's an attack, it attacks animals, which is understandable, food chain, but it only drinks their blood. It don't like eat them. It just drinks the blood. So I don't know what that could be. Unless it's a manged animal that is like craving iron or needs iron or something in the blood that it don't have. Like American Day vampires. There are some that drink blood because they don't have the iron or something in their blood. I don't know what it is, but the Mothman, like I said, I believe that's an elemental. I think that's a warning that something's going to happen. Bigfoot, I think, is an elemental that, just like fairies, that protect the woods. And the only reason that they call out and stuff like that is it's a warning. Get away from here. Don't disturb this area. Blah, blah, blah. That type of thing. Loch Ness, I think she's just having fun, swimming around out there. But there's a lot in the rainforest animals that we have no clue about. And that's where this list comes from. Of the top 10 cryptoids that had turned out to be real. Let's go ahead. We'll zoom that over. Let me pull that up so I can see it. Alright, so the top 10 cryptids that turned out to be real. The devil bird. Hold on, I'm trying to get that. There we go. So the devil bird. The devil bird, or Alma, is a frightening horned bird of Sri Lanka folklore. The exclusive creature is rarely seen, but is often heard in the form of its infamous blood-curdling screams. Its cries are said to resemble a wailing woman and are perceived by locals as an omen of death. Is that where the banshee came from? For centuries, the nocturnal cries of the devil bird were the only evidence of its existence. Western science wrote it off as mere superstition. I bet you that's where the banshee came in. Whoa, where are you going there? Stop. Then in 2001, the devil bird was identified as a new species of owl, the spotted belly eagle owl. Boo-poo, I'm not even going to try to say that word. The largest of Sri Lanka's owls. matches the description of the llama perfectly, down to its characteristic screech and tufted horns. Although some debate still remains as the true identity of the devil bird, the spot-bellied eagle owl stands as the most compelling source of inspiration for the mysterious creature. So there it is. The devil bird, once thought to be a lie. The Xiphias. The medieval folklore, the Xiphias, or water owl, was a monstrous nautical creature said to attack ships in the northern seas. It possessed the body of a fish and the head of an owl. I don't see where that resemblance is, but okay. Complete with massive eyes and wedge-shaped beak. Xiphias, meaning sword-like in Latin, may refer to the beast's fin, which is said to pierce the hulls of ships like a sword. Today, the inspiration for the Xiphias is known as the curious-beaked whale, a widespread species of beaked whales, also known as the goose-beaked whale. It looks like, that can't be it, because that looks like a dolphin to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. The creature is found as far north as Shetland Islands and as south as Tierra del Fuego at the tip of South America. It is the only member of the genus Xiphias which bears the name of its legendary identity. Some additionally attribute the inspiration of Xiphias to the orca or the great white shark, based on some depictions of the beast and its predator to seals. Another beast that they thought was a lie. Bondigizu. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the Bondigizu, man of the forest, is a legendary ancestral spirit of the Mani people in western Indonesia. Described as a tree-dwelling creature, the Bondigizu sorry guys, resembles a small man covered in black and white fur, and it is said to be a tree climber, but then often stands on the ground as a bipedal stance. In the 1980s, a photograph of the Bondigizu was sent to Australian research scientist Tim Flannelly, who initially identified the creature as a young tree kangaroo. But in May 1994, Flannery conducted a wildlife survey of the area and discovered that the animal in the picture was new to science. This is what I'm talking about. The rainforest has many new things, and we don't know what's all out there. Just like the bottom of the ocean. We have no clue. So yeah, here they thought people were nuts. The dingozo is a creature also known as a forest-dwelling marsupial with blood coloration that spends most of its time on the ground. The dingozo remains a rare sight. The real evidence of the creature was only skins, and to this day, no dingoes exist in captivity. Dingoso. I don't know. Oh, I love these words. The kangaroo. Can you imagine somebody thinking a kangaroo is a cryptid? You wouldn't think of that. But listen how they told them. Early explorers to Australia described bizarre creatures never seen by Europeans. They wrote of creatures with heads like deer that stood upright like men and hopped like frogs. The creature sometimes sported two heads. One was on their shoulders and one in their stomach. What would that make you think of if somebody told you that without seeing a kangaroo? But I could understand that because it's got a joey in its thing, and such accounts were understandably disregarded and ridiculed by fellow colleagues. But that changed in the 1770s, when a dead specimen of this odd beast was exhibited in England as a public curiosity. Today, this creature is known as the kangaroo, a widespread marsupial epidemic to Australia. Well known for their leaping abilities and a female pouch for carrying young marsupial kangaroos, joeys, are nationally recognized icon of Australia. But way back when, people thought these weren't a real animal. What animal has two heads? The kangaroo, if you really look at it sometimes. The platypus. When European naturalists first encountered this bizarre creature, they were understandably baffled. Accounts described it as a venomous, it was venomous, egg-laying mammal with duckbill and beaver tail. Many prominent British scientists deterred it was a hoax when presented with a sketch and pelt. In 1798, even when offered a corpse, scholars suspected that it was elaborate sewn-together fraud. Today, this bizarre but fascinating creature is known as the platypus, one of the only 5 existent monotreme, egg-laying mammals. While formally recognized by science, it is no less unique today. The semi-aquatic animal or creature is native to eastern Australia, swims with webbed feet, uses electrocution to hunt. I wonder if that's where they got the venomous. And I never knew that. Wait a minute. They use electrocution? I never knew that. And it is venomous. And man, I gotta read these articles better. And possess an ankle spur that in males can deliver a powerful injection of venom. While non-lethal to humans, this venom is excruciating, painful, and is not responsive to most painkillers. Them are badass little creatures, man. I think of platypuses, I think of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in the make-believe world. They weren't so bad there. Wow. You learn something new every day. And the sea serpent. For centuries, the sea serpent persists as the most captivating cryptozoology mystery of the world. Sightings of these mysterious and often frightening creatures have occurred plentiful throughout history, even up until the early 20th century. From northern European waters to the eastern North America coasts, tales of serpentine aquatic beasts of colossal proportions dot the globe. Their description vary, ranging from horsehead creatures to massive snakes. But again, when people were talking about these long-ass things, people would think they're lying. They're like, that's whatever, you're drinking too much gin, or whatever they drink back then. The Komodo dragon. By the earliest 20th century, Western science had determined that the giant lizards were nothing more than a relic of the prehistoric past. Thus, when pearl fishermen returned from Lesser Sunda Islands in Indonesia with tales of monstrous land crocodiles, their accounts were met with overwhelming skepticism. An expedition from the Buitenzorg Zoological Museum in Java produced a report of these creatures, but the legendary dragons of the Komodo faded to obscurity in World War I took precedence. Then, in 1926, an expedition from the American Museum of Natural History confirmed that the tales of giant lizards were true. W. Douglas Burden, the leader of the expedition, returned with 12 preserved specimens and 2 live ones. The world was introduced to the Komodo dragon, a massive monitor lizard that grows up to 10 feet, making it the largest lizard in the world. The Komodo dragon possesses massive claws and fangs, which can kill almost any creature on the island, including humans and water buffaloes. Damn! I mean, I knew they were badass, but I didn't know they were that badass. One particularly bizarre attribute to these creatures is that their venomous bite, which may been attributed to bacteria-laden saliva or venom glands in the mouth. The 1926 expedition to Komodo served as the inspiration for King Kong, in which a similar expedition to a foreign island reveals a prehistoric megafauna. Mountain gorillas. For centuries, tales of large ape men in East Africa have captivated explorers and natives alike. I mean, who thought he wrote of violent, bloodthirsty forest monsters. I mean, but in that, you're freaked out seeing something new like that. I know what they are, and if I saw them, I'd be freaked out, like in non-captivity. You know? So I could see some of these. That's the unicorn. The Central African unicorn. Central African tribes and ancient Egyptians described and depicted a bizarre creature for centuries. Dubbed the African unicorn by Europeans, it is known locally by such names as the Ati or the Oopai, resembling a cross between a zebra, a donkey, and a giraffe. Could you imagine trying to explain that to somebody? Yeah, it's part zebra, part giraffe, part donkey. I mean, people thought these weren't legit. And the giant squid. The giant squid, they thought people were lying about that, the Kraken, for years. For years. But they weren't. They weren't lying about it. So, I mean, I think some of these things, and the giant panda is apparently a bonus one. But for years, you know, people the existence of the giant panda has never been disputed by scientific community, therefore has never been a true cryptid. However, its story offers a valuable lesson to believers and skeptics alike in the merits of cryptozoology research. The giant panda became known to Western science in 1869, when a dead specimen was presented to French naturalist Pierre Armand David. In the following years, museums eagerly sent off expeditions to obtain pandas for the exhibits. However, as anthropologist George Agino writes, from 1869 until 1929, a period of 60 years, a dozen well-staffed and well-equipped professional zoological collecting teams unsuccessfully sought an animal the size of a small bear in a restricted area. The giant panda lives in the same general area at the same general elevation as the yeti. Yet this animal has remained hidden for over 60 years. In 1929, Theodore and Kermit Roosevelt finally killed a giant panda after 6 decades of illusion and fruitless searching. This historical episode of zoology should send a strong message that nature still has many mysteries to yield, and that our efforts to uncover them can be daunting, but a worthwhile task. And with that, my friends, that is all I have. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's misidentification? Do you think it's elementals? What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. If you stuck it out with me for this long, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I would love to hear your ideas, your thoughts, either down below in the comments or go over to shadowsofthemoons.com. I have a forum over there. I'm starting. I've been working diligently on it. And, yeah, it's where we can discuss all this stuff and what you'd want to hear about. What do you want to hear about? For these recordings. Wednesday is the next recording, and it's going to be a controversy. It's going to be the Mandela effect. Ooh. Come join me on that day, and we'll discuss the Mandela effect. And hopefully I won't go down to any rabbit holes before I go and record it. Again, I am so sorry that this was again late because of the fact that me going down a rabbit hole of, I didn't think about UK cryptids. And you find out a lot of information, you know. And I'll probably still go down more of the rabbit hole at a later date. But please join me Wednesday for the Mandela effect. And I want to hear your opinions on that. Like I said, head over to shadowsofthemoons.com. That's shadows with an S, of the moons with an S.com. And, yeah, let me know what you want me to talk about. What do you want me to research? What do you want me to go down the rabbit holes for? I would love to hear from you over there. And I would love to get your input on what you think about these things, these topics that I bring up. So without further ado, I'm going to bid you adieu. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you next time. Join me tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. my time for Coffee and Cards. You can get a free tarot reading or an oracle card reading. And yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll have some coffee and chit chat and do some cards. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.